yes or no to answer the poll for me, that would be fantastic. Awesome, great. Well, here we are, week 4 solar system, and we are going to talk about the moon. Now, last week, we went ahead and we talked about the sun. Next week, we are going to talk about the planets. The next logical place for us to go today after the sun is to the moon. Now, we are going to talk about our moon in particular. Although there are plenty of moons out there, we are going to focus on ours. Montgomery, do you have a question to get started? Montgomery, I don't think your speakers are on. Go ahead and try to talk again for me. I think maybe your microphone may be off. So if you could go ahead and go through these steps with me. On the left-hand side of your screen at the bottom, there should be a wrench. Click the wrench. It should say microphone settings. Please make sure the correct microphone is chosen. And that your microphone is not muted. So Montgomery, go ahead and give that a try again. No, your microphone doesn't seem to be working, Montgomery. Okay, is that better? Can everyone hear me better now? Sometimes when we go into that little wrench toolbox, it makes the sounds distorted. So I'm very sorry about that. Awesome. All right, so we're going to talk about our moon. Before we talk about our moon, I put a picture up on your whiteboard asking you if you knew what this was. So now that you know we're going to talk about the moon today, that may give you a little bit of a hint. Would anyone like to raise their hand and let us know what on Earth, or what in the solar system, they think is up on the whiteboard? Raise your hand if you think you have a guess. Anyone have a guess? All right, Montgomery, what is your guess?
Never mind. And astronauts go to the moon.
Okay, I was able to hear you that time, so perfect on that. How about a guess? Anyone have a guess as to what they think this is? We're talking about the moon today. Sophia, go right ahead. Make sure you click the talk button, Sophia, or Sophie, sorry. Okay, Sophie, I see your response in the text chat. You are correct. This is a picture of the moon up close. Not too up close. It would be like you standing up and taking a picture looking down. So about 4 feet away from the ground, 3.5 feet. But it's a picture of something very specific. In the picture, sort of in the middle right, there's a footprint. This footprint is the first footprint that was on the moon. So that is what this is a picture of, and that's something we're going to talk about today. We're going to throw a little bit of history into our solar system class today. But before we get started with the history, we are going to take a look at a PowerPoint of the moon. Now I'm going to turn my video off while this PowerPoint is on. I would like to encourage all of you to make your PowerPoint screen larger. Go ahead and click the arrow on the purple toolbar above the PowerPoint screen that is up and pointing to the right. It says our moon, a look at our nearest neighbor in space. So let's take a look at our moon. What are some things that you guys know about the moon? Go ahead and raise your hands. I'd like to have a couple minutes of sharing first. Something you know about our moon. Anyone? Victoria, go ahead. What about our moon?
The moon is, it's not like Earth, and it doesn't have oxygen. And the gravity level is I think it's either lower or higher. Well, the gravity is different, is what I'm trying to say. Because I think it's less gravity, because, it's more like bouncy or whatever. And I don't think the moon has an atmosphere. So, those are my guesses.
Those are all fantastic guesses, Victoria. They're all correct. Alexandria, what do you know about the moon?
The moon that is in this picture is the only moon that orbits Earth.
Fantastic. This is the only moon that orbits Earth. The Earth is in the foreground of the picture on the left, and the Earth is in the back middle. Anyone else have anything they want to add about the moon? All right, then we are going to go ahead and get started. So what is the moon? Well, the moon is a natural satellite. Well, that sounds kind of silly because it's a moon. But a satellite is something up in space. There can be man-made satellites that we launch into space, or there can be natural satellites. The moon is a natural satellite. Montgomery, do you have a question? Go right ahead.
The space shuttles open. The space shuttles are the only ones who open that thing.
All right, perfect. The space shuttles can go up towards the moon. You are correct. The moon is one of more than 96 moons in our solar system. Now, we refer to it as the moon because it is the Earth's moon, but there really are 96 other moons in the solar system. But this is the only moon of the planet Earth. Location, location, location. Everything is all about location. Here, I would love to live in a house by the beach and in the moon. Where on Earth is the moon compared to the Earth? Well, the moon is about 240,000 miles or 384,000 kilometers from Earth. The moon is about 3,468 kilometers. in diameter, or 2,155 miles in diameter. It is about a quarter the size of the Earth, so the moon is smaller than the Earth. But how was the moon born? Well, no one was here when the moon was born. This is all a best guess. Sometimes scientists call it a guesstimate. So the best guesstimate is that the moon was born or became a moon between 4 and 5 billion years ago. In Montgomery, once I finish this slide, I will answer whatever question you have. It was formed from an impact of a Mars-side planetesimal on Earth. Debris from the object, from the Earth, and from the impact of what hit the Earth got together to form a moon. So what happened is basically you have, and I'm going to turn my video back on so you can see a little demonstration. You had the Earth, and you have something about the shape of Mars. And when it hit the Earth, some pieces broke off of the Earth, and some pieces broke off of the little ball that hit the Earth. And what you got, hold on, my other ball just ran away. What you got is the moon. So the two pieces broke off, and they formed into the moon. Montgomery, you had a question?
How do they make the Earth? What was more longer time ago?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to answer that question today, but I am going to answer that question when we talk about the Earth. So today we're going to stay focused on the moon, but when we talk about the Earth and the other planets, I am definitely going to answer that question for you. So you're just going to have to be a little bit patient until then. Victoria, did you have a question?
Was this just the birth of our moon, or is it how all moons are made? Because I know how some of the planets say moons, but they are gas planet, and I don't know. I just wanted to ask that.
Well, that's a good question, because some of the planets that have moons are gas planets. So obviously, if a piece of gas breaks off, there's nothing to really combine from that gas. It's just gas. There's nothing hard to combine into a ball. So it is how moons are made, but moons are not necessarily made from a planet and something colliding. It could be from two comets, from two meteorites colliding. It doesn't necessarily have to be the planet that it is orbiting around. Okay, but that was a great question. So let's look at, and I'm going to turn my video off again and make my PowerPoint larger. Let's look at the moon and the layers in the moon. Would anyone like to volunteer to read this slide for me? Go ahead, Alexandria.
Cut to the core. 3 major divisions of the lunar interior. Number 2, crust average thickness of about 70 kilometers. Next, number 3 is mantle. And number 4, core radius is